Hello everyone. Today's adventure brings us to the Lake James / Linville Gorge area. We're going to be doing the hike to Yellow Fork Falls, otherwise known as Patty's Creek Falls. This is off of NC 105, about 2 miles after it turns to gravel if you're coming from Lake James. If you're coming from the other direction, that direction, I'm not exactly sure how many miles that is, but it is much, much further and would take you a pretty good while if you're coming from that way. Because this road here is long and bumpy, and it probably took me, just the 2 miles that I covered it, it probably took me 10 to 15 minutes just to cover that. Long and bumpy. But, I'm the only one here at the moment. One car did pass just as I parked, but they kept going. So it looks like it's just gonna be me on the trail today. So I'm gonna get started. So I will provide the GPS coordinates to the trailhead in the video description. But you can also find that in directions from the All Trails app. I used Apple Maps to get here. The Google Maps actually took me to a different spot, which was 5 or 6 miles from here. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but luckily it was in the general area of where I was trying to get to. So Apple Maps was definitely the way to go with this one. We're looking at a 1.8 out and back hike, 1.8 miles out and back, with around a 600-foot climb, it says. I think a lot of the climbing and the interesting parts are as you get closer to the falls. You know, there's a ladder you have to climb down, maybe a rope with it, just before you get to the falls, I believe. There's some reviews, pretty recent, that would say the ladder has been remade and resecured. And I had seen some pictures of it before that, and it looked pretty shoddy. Definitely did not look safe. But someone has fashioned a new one apparently, so that should not be an issue. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this trail, we're going to kind of descend first. Maybe some ups and downs, but I think for the most part we're going to descend first. And then you will climb when you're coming back. So we're going to keep on moving. Just wanted to mention someone has blazed a trail with this orange paint ever so often. You can make it out fairly easily, but someone has took their time to do that. Just much appreciated. You can definitely make it out. It's a little narrow through here. I'm just past the halfway point, and the trail kind of hooks right a little bit, and the descent kind of picks up a little bit. So far it's just kind of been a very slow, gradual descent, but descent is definitely picking up a little more now. And the trail has pretty much resembled what you see on the camera now the whole way. Some downfall here and there, but it's mostly little ones like that. Nothing hard to get around. tree there looked like it was kind of burnt. Starting to see some rocks mixing in here. I'm not hearing any water quite yet. Yeah, I think at some point there's definitely been a fire out here, right in this area. It's been a while, but some trees that look real charred. It's kind of clear and open right here in this spot too. There's also a giant mountain in front of me. Can't really make out much of it because the clouds kind of settling around, but directly in front of me. You probably would have a real nice view right now if it wasn't cloudy the way it is. Something to keep in mind too. So getting a little closer now. I can hear water pretty well. Still sounds like there could be a little more distance. Starting to get further I go, the steeper and steeper it gets. Some of these rocks are mixed in. First half, you know, definitely stayed easy, but the moderate kicks in beyond that. Especially whenever we start to climb back out of here. All right, so we've made it to the ladder that I mentioned earlier, and you read about in the reviews. Looks like it's made out of 4x4s and 2x4s, and it's strapped down on here at the top. Can't really make out how it's secured at the bottom quite yet until I get down, but fixing to give it the old tug test, and then if it feels secure, then we'll drop on down. It looks like it has about 9 steps on it. So here we go. So the ladder is very secure. Someone has drove rebar right here, and then on the other one at the bottom, and you can pull on it with all my weight, and it does not move. So very, very safe. Someone did a very good job on that. Almost there. Once you get past the ladder, be prepared to scramble. Today it's a little wet because it has rained the past day or so, but it's not terribly wet, so it really hadn't been too bad. But just be prepared, it is a scramble. You can see what looks like the top of the waterfall there. Right through the trees. You probably can't make it out though. There you can, right there in the middle. Just about there. I will show more of the scramble parts as I'm coming back up, because it will just be easier then. Very nice area right here. Hang out, little pool to swim in. Crystal clear water. You see straight to the bottom of that. Well worth it. This would be a very pristine area if this, I mean, it kind of is anyway, but if this tree wasn't here, it'd really be something. Even more, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Doing a wide angle shot just so you can see the entire area. It's a giant rock bluff right here. It kind of surrounds the whole left side of it, the area. But it's a very big sitting area here. In the pool of water and the falls. Highly recommend this one. Time to hike back. And try and show a little more of the scramble parts. It's a pretty steep grade right here, but you can manage to get up it without having to crawl or anything like that. Trekking pole really come in handy coming down here. Glad I didn't forget it today. One of my last trips I did. It's very, very steep right here. And again, there's roots and things you can grab a hold of, and part of it you can just stand on. But we got to get past this, and then we'll be back on something that's a little more manageable. This is probably this may be the steepest part. And getting up and down a ladder, of course. Good way to describe this last part is, once you see the ladder, the fun part begins. Before that, it's not too bad. Going back, it'll be still a climb, you know, but nothing technical like what we just did. I also want to mention that before you get to the ladder, really from when you start until you get to the ladder, I had phone service. I have Verizon. I had phone service up to that point. Pretty decent, actually. Once you get down in there, I didn't have nothing. Something else to keep in mind. All right, so I'm about a little ways past the halfway point back to where I parked. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video and give my final thoughts on the hike and the waterfall. From a strenuous level, it's kind of hard to give it a totally fair assessment. So in my opinion, the first 3/4 to 8/10 of a mile, I'd say, are on the way in are easy. Coming back, I would say it's moderate, because you are climbing and you're gonna sweat just at least a little bit. But the last 2/10 or 1/4 of a mile, I would rate that section as difficult. If you're an average hiker like myself, or an avid hiker, you know, it's really not going to be difficult to you. But to an average person who just maybe wants to see a waterfall, or, you know, doesn't mind hiking a little bit, but didn't want to get nothing too extreme. You would probably say that last part was difficult. But I did it today. It was rained the last 2 days, like I said before, and I made it in and out fine. Never really felt like I was losing my footing or slipping. Just be slow and steady with it. But I would say it's moderate with one hard section. That's what I feel like is fair. In terms of solitude, I have to give that a 10 out of 10, because unless I see someone in this last 4/10 of a mile or so, I have not seen anyone the whole time. On the way in and on the way back, I probably spent maybe half an hour down there hanging out, and yeah, it was really, really nice. In the warmer time of the year, it would be extra nice because you could wade and swim in that pool. I'm not exactly sure how deep it is, but it is crystal clear. You can see straight to the bottom, see all the rocks, the leaves. It was top notch. Waterfall, I'd probably give it a pretty high score too, 8, 9 out of 10. It was very nice. So overall, I highly recommend you check it out. If you're in the Linville Gorge area and you want to see a different waterfall than Linville Falls, which is the most popular and by far the most crowded. There are some other ones, but this would be a good alternative to that if you're looking to beat a crowd. I think there was enough parking up there for maybe 2, 3 vehicles. And then there's another pull off somewhere that was close by that one. So you might could park it in and walk a little ways if you had to, but yeah. So that's gonna do it for this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching.